There comes a sacred point in certain God-led connections when the inner weight feels heavier than usual. Not because something is wrong, but because something is about to be resolved. If you found your way here today, this moment was not accidental. Scripture reminds us in Proverbs 16:9 that a person may plan their path, but it is the Lord who orders their steps. What you are sensing right now is not emotional weakness, nor is it fixation or confusion. It is pressure created by proximity to clarity. Before we go any further, I want you to pause for a second. If your spirit feels stirred as you listen, type one word in the comments that reflects your heart right now. Let that act be a quiet agreement between you and God that you are present and receptive. What you have been carrying has been forming quietly for a long time. This connection did not arrive lightly or randomly. It has followed you through seasons of growth, prayer, release, and surrender. Just when you thought you had finally found emotional footing, something resurfaced. A thought, a dream, a sudden emotional pull that did not match logic or timing. You may have tried to explain it away, telling yourself it was habit or nostalgia, but deep within, you knew it was unfinished business of the heart. This message is not meant to intensify confusion. It is meant to bring understanding. The pressure you feel has purpose. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 tells us there is a time for everything under heaven. This is not the same phase you were in before. What you are experiencing now is not a repeat, it is refinement. This connection was never shallow. It was never designed for convenience. It was meant to awaken maturity, spiritual grounding, self-respect, and faith in both individuals involved. That is why it is felt demanding. Walking away without understanding did not work. Holding on without wisdom did not work either. You were placed between fear and faith, between control and surrender. And the test you are in now is not about affection, it is about trust. Trust in what God is forming within you. For a long time you were required to wait without explanation, to feel deeply without reassurance, to hope without evidence. That season was not punishment. Romans 5 verses 3 through 4 reminds us that endurance produces character, and character produces hope. The earlier version of you could not have handled what is coming next. You needed boundaries. You needed emotional stability. You needed to stop chasing signs and start standing firmly in who God says you are. That is why the emotional weight feels more concentrated now. The lesson is sharper. You are no longer being evaluated on patience alone. You are being measured on alignment. Can you choose peace over panic, truth over imagination, wholeness over emotional dependence? God does not endlessly repeat lessons. When something keeps circling back, it means a decision has not yet been completed at the root. You may have noticed how your tolerance has shifted. What once felt manageable now feels heavy. Silence no longer feels romantic. Mixed signals feel draining. Waiting without direction feels costly. This is not loss of faith. This is growth. Psalm 37 verse 7 encourages us to rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him, not anxiously monitor every movement. You are outgrowing emotional uncertainty, and that growth is intentional. This connection can only progress in truth or conclude with clarity. There is no room left for emotional limbo. You are not being instructed to force outcomes. You are being invited to still your inner world. The test is not about proving devotion. It is about trusting that what belongs to you will meet you at the level of self-respect God has cultivated in you. That is why emotions are rising now, not to wound you, but to reveal what still holds influence. Awareness is the final doorway. Once you see clearly, you cannot pretend anymore. For some, this test looks like restraint. For others, it looks like speaking honestly for the first time. For some, it means releasing expectations. For others, it means choosing yourself without resentment. Different forms, same lesson. God is inviting you to choose from wholeness, not longing. Isaiah 26 verse 3 tells us that God keeps in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on Him. This connection responds to authenticity, not anxiety. That is why tension has increased, not to distract you, but to bring you to a crossroads. The shift always begins inside before it shows up outside. Many expect confirmation through action from the other person, but divine alignment always starts internally. You are beginning to discern the difference between love that strengthens you and attachment that drains you. This is not you giving up. This is you stepping into spiritual and emotional authority. This phase feels intense because it requires faith, restraint, and maturity at the same time. You are not being tested on how much you can endure. You are being asked whether you have integrated the lesson. And lessons that are integrated do not repeat. What you are standing in now is not confusion, it is convergence. It is the moment when everything you have learned is being brought together and tested for embodiment. James 1 verse 4 says that when perseverance finishes its work, you become mature and complete, lacking nothing. That verse is not poetic language, it is spiritual reality. You are no longer being asked to endure blindly, you are being asked to live from what you now know. Look at how your internal responses have changed. There was a time when distance or silence would immediately pull you into overthinking. You questioned yourself, you questioned God, you questioned whether you imagined the entire connection. But now, even when it hurts, you don't unravel the same way. There is more steadiness, more awareness, more self-respect. That shift is not accidental. It is evidence that the lesson has taken root. Destined connections do not align when one person is chasing and the other is hiding. They come together when both hearts reach stability. Sometimes the only way to make space for that alignment is for one person to stop reaching outward and start trusting inward. That stillness you feel pulling you back from impulsive action is not passivity, it is wisdom. Psalm 46 verse 10 reminds us to be still and know that God is at work. Stillness is not doing nothing, it is refusing to move from fear. You may feel torn between wanting immediate resolution and feeling called to wait without forcing clarity. That tension is not a mistake, it is the crossroads, and how you respond here determines whether this connection transforms or concludes. Many people misunderstand endings. Not every ending is permanent, and not every continuation is healthy. God does not reward attachment, He responds to alignment. If this person is meant to walk with you, they will feel the shift and rise to meet you. If not, they will fall away without destroying you. Either outcome honors your growth. That is why you do not need to fear what comes next. You are no longer behind. You are no longer late. You are completing the process. Before we close, I want to invite you into alignment. If this message confirmed what your spirit already knew, comment one word below as an act of faith. Then subscribe to this channel so you stay connected to messages meant to guide you through seasons like this. And share this video with someone who needs clarity and peace right now.